Hello. Hi. Good morning. Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Icon. It's good to see you. Let's take a look. Dan, I still don't have an invite. Give me one sec. I still don't have an invite on my other email address. So let me work through that. Let's just jump into that. Give me a moment. Excuse me, and we'll start there. How is everybody doing this morning? Let's get some music because we need that. We need that to have a good day. Let's see what we got here. Hopefully that's something that you can hear. You made me the owner. Let me check this out here. I gotta make sure I have all my right keys. And we'll get going. Hello. Oh, and it's on GitHub. All right, let's get some URLs. Oh, I'm sorry that I missed that. I was hanging out with Java Grant Jr. But I got the end of it. That was good. I got the end. Hello from Spain. I have my heart set on going to Spain. I'm hoping to go to Barcelona to Spring I/O at the end of the year. So yes, hello. Maybe we'll get to meet in person. That would be wonderful, wouldn't it? Jonas, hello. Hello from Singapore. It was fantastic to see you at VMware Explorer. Yay! Yes, wonderful. Hi, Deshaun. I wanted to ask you for some reference. I want to create an application that will allow me to record locally some audio video to call someone, so after it's finished, we can upload with high quality. I think that's doable. Hey, baby steps, right? Baby steps. I took a week off, right? Take a couple steps back so we can take a couple steps forward. So yeah, I'm gonna be here. I'm comfortable. I found a zone, and I'm gonna keep on doing this. So I love to start the day with questions like this. Rick Sama, I want to talk about what kind of stuff. Right, I have this idea of using my Raspberry Pi and using the Raspberry Pi's camera and mic to do that. Yeah, come on in. Yep. The cool thing is, like, coming in, tell us where you're from. I've got kids. I'm entering my credentials code, but I like to share with my kids where everybody's from. And I always like to say hi to mom and dad because my mom and dad are always watching. They don't chat, but they are always watching. So hi, mom and dad. I love you. Let me get this going. Maybe it's on this. I got two different deals here. Please hold. We're gonna get all logged in. That's what we're doing. So here's what I'm gonna ask right now is I'm gonna ask, what are you working on? Let me know what you're working on. Describe it as little or as much detail as you want while I get all logged in with all the security. Because when you have 4 kids, you got to keep everything secure. You don't want the 4 kids having access to all the things. All right, I think I'm in. All right, projects. Oh, here it is. Dan, I see your project. All right, let's grab that. Let's grab that and let's just get started on that. Since that was first, you were first in line. You were here early before the show started. You got your questions in, so let's start there. Michael Forrest, hello. Welcome from Arkansas. Hello, hello. I'm using test containers more, as you should. As you should. Test containers are amazing. Icon says I need a Raspberry Pi build to control the TVs behind me when I stream. Yeah. Yeah. I have one of these that has Robotech's name on it, and the other one, let me see. The other one, maybe I can put your name on it. Please hold. As I'm getting all of these computers deployed, we did a little bit of that last night. Maybe I can put that one in the mail. But yeah, we got some stuff that we can do. Good, Distant Profile. So let's get on screen here. So Dan, hey, good morning, my friend. So good to see you here. Welcome. Let me do this. This is one of my Andy Tux does some really cool streams late at night when I'm hanging out with my son. Oops. Late at night when I'm hanging out with my and so me and my son have spent time, and we actually have even traveled. Where were we going? We did a road trip, and Andy Tux was also doing a road trip, and he was streaming from his vehicle. So we were like road tripping together as like Twitch buddies, and it was awesome. So let me do this real quick. There we go. And I need to do this for Icon. Icon Talks is everywhere on YouTube as well. So for those of you that don't know, I know I have to wait for a second. Icon is somebody that's been doing the Twitch stuff for a long time. He's amazing. He's got a great voice. He has great conversations. He asks great questions, and he's got a really high production quality. So if you like hanging out and watching people learn like I do, he's definitely somebody to watch. Hello from Arkansas. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. One of these days, Michael, we're gonna just have to get you on the show. Actually, we should do that. We should do that real soon. Because there's a thread that I need to go down, and I know that you've got a lot of expertise. So, Michael, I normally do this at this time, 8:30 to 10:30 Central, and it would be really fun. So what I'm doing here is I'll always have something ready to demo, or to show off, or to build together. I'll always have something, but the main thing here is I'm here to like be interrupted. Be interrupted. I don't have a schedule. Like the main part here is like I'm here at your service to help you move forward, like on whatever you're stuck on. Yeah, definitely. I talk about Spring Boot. And other SBCs are single board computers. But I do the Kubernetes, build packs, and just like getting to production, like all those things. So, yeah. So that's what we're doing here. But I don't have a goal or an agenda. Sometimes it's just nice to like hang out and chit chat. So like today, we're actually going to work on Dan Spring Cloud config server. And then we're going to look at Rick Sama. We're going to talk about this idea, creating an application, recording audio, video locally, then upload with high quality. Right? So these are, some things we'll talk about. If there's other stuff that we want to like touch on, let me know. What are you working on? What can I help with? Hello from Switzerland. amazing. Thank you, everybody. What a great way to start the day. So let's grab Dan's repository. He set up, we had a conversation. He set up a repository that replicated his issue. So we're just going to clone his repository and we're going to dig in and see. And again, I don't have all the answers, right? Right? I have amazing friends. I will make mistakes. Boom. There we are. All right, here. So Jonas says, I'm stuck with my Kubernetes cluster with Raspberry Pi. Need to book some time with you soon. Like we can talk about it here. So let's figure out what's happening here with Jonas. So we'll get there. It is freezing in my house. Much easier to chat with over here on YouTube. Okay. Okay, good to know, good to know. Is it Dalisra? Hi. How about a talk about deploy to cloud alternatives, free preferred for testing small loads? Fantastic. Things that we've talked about here. We've talked about a couple. And basically we build the containers and we deploy, and I don't remember the name of the one that we did a couple weeks ago. But yeah, like this is what we can do. We can talk about whatever. I know we have some ideas. ISRA. Right, my default is Raspberry Pi, but I also know how to like go beyond that. One of the things we should talk about is like, we'll get there. Data, we're in no rush. We have tons to talk about. But first, let's do this. Let's grab Dan's code here. And then I'll show you some of my conventions. We go to the fun, and I'm going to make this directory DIDOUX. That's so I know, yeah, the parent org. Uh-oh. Sometimes it does that. I'm not sure why. All right, we have, uh-oh. I'm not able to read from it. Do I not have the right key? Please hold, let me get my key set up. So this is saying, hey, you don't have permission. So let me go and figure out my deal. It shows up in my repository. And it might just be that my key has expired. SSH keys. Nope, I have a key that doesn't expire. Please hold. Let's set up this project. So we're using GitLab. I think he said it's also on GitHub, but we're just going to grab this repository. For some reason, I'm not able to check it out. And I should be more comfortable floating around this. All right, it says green. It says I'm an owner. It definitely says I'm an owner. Members. Is you two-factor off? right? Expert, yeah. So why can't I clone it? Let's try it this way. This shouldn't require a key. Oh, but it's still asking for my username. This is interesting. Here, let's go look on GitHub. Is it the same username on GitHub? Yep, there he is. Here we go. Let's try that. Oh, I gotta get this. All right, that worked. Okay, cool. Now we're moving forward. So we are going to take a look at this config service. So Dan, tell me what's first step here. This config server really should just be like tiny one line. Oops, don't need to do that. Let's go take a look. Here's our config server. This is it. This is all that we need to do to set up a config server. So let's take a look at the README per my nudge here. All right, start Docker desktop. Got it. Run Zipkin. Okay, I can do that. I'm gonna. Oh, we're using a snapshot. I want to do one thing. Source. Test. Oh. We got resources. Comment it out. Okay. All right, let's go back here. Let's run this. I'm down. I'm going to follow the instructions. So I've got Zipkin running. Yes, we're using Spring Cloud config. So I like this. I like this better than config maps. And there's ways that you can just still use Spring Cloud config server and get your config map for inside of Kubernetes. And I think this is just like me getting used to things. I've been using this pattern in this server for a long time. And I think I just like the way it's organized. I like having, releasable configs. So we'll dig into that a little bit here. But this says all I need to do now is Spring Boot run. Oh, there's no MBNW. Version 21 not supported. 21. Wait, what? Oh, maybe I'm on the wrong version of Java. All right. Done. Here we go. We're getting there. Jonas says I use config server with JDBC so I can keep all my variables stored in my database. Yeah. Like there's tons of reasons to use it. There's tons of really good patterns and benefits. All right, so we started up in 3.508 seconds. All right, and use Postman API to run this query. What we're asking for is Eureka Server default. So this started up on 8888, right? We should be able to verify that. Why don't I see it? It says port 8888. Why don't I see it down here? We're gonna trust it. 8888, let's take a look. And the problem is, hey, this takes a long time. Why is it taking so long to get this response? Let's dig in. All right, here's its properties. Here is the URL for the config. It's doing clone on start. So this clone on start is saying, hey, go copy all of those configs down. I don't see anything saying that that's happening. Spring Cloud Config Server Compatibility Verifier enabled. Discovery enabled. Okay, discovery enabled. Config discovery enabled. We're going to take a look at these. Server default label is main, clone on start true, URL. Okay, we should be good here. Logging, okay. All right, this is all that we have. We have a couple of, why is this one? One of the things we always have to make sure, Code Core, I'm wonderful this morning. I'm having a great day. We have a nice little audience. We got some good questions already. So we're going to be moving forward. So we're working with Spring Cloud Config Server. Let me change this. I don't like this view. Working with Spring Cloud Config Server. It says it gives me warnings every 3 minutes after it returns. So we've asked, we're still not getting anything. So what should be happening is we should be, based on this, we should be going here and we should be getting our config. Now it's got Eureka Server -default properties. This makes absolute sense. Sorry, I got the sniffles. It's cold in my house. Yeah, here, let's point you to the right repo. Here's the repository that we're working with. It's public. Working together is always more fun. So here, that's taking a long time. It's taking 6 minutes. Why should it take 6 minutes? Could not locate property source. Config server, URIs, optional true, profiles, default, IO error on GET request for this. Read timed out. So let's do this. So read timed out. It wasn't getting anything. Like, are you, what's happening here? Oh, you don't have an actuator, I bet. So let's add that. Oh wait, no, you have actuator. Why is actuator taking so long? Dad, move. It's cold in my house, but I'm not paying the heating bill when nobody else is here. I hear you, bro. I hear you. It's cold. It's really cold outside. It's 17 degrees out. Brr. Do you have a markdown? I'm not sure what I missed. But my first concern here is when I'm asking for health, that I'm not getting it. So when I go back here, one of the things that we did here is we said spring application, the name is config server, that's good. Cloud compatibility verifier. I think that's okay. This discovery enabled true. So that if I am, there's two approaches here. Oh, do I have markdown? I have like this view. Is that what you're looking at? But when we go into the cloud, there's two kind of pieces: config server and discovery server. So what I think is happening, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm going from memory on things that I haven't taken in production in a while, but I think that we can find something here. So this discovery enabled and config discovery enabled. These, I'm not sure if that's default. I'm gonna leave that. When I come in, so let me just talk about this. When I have my service A, what I do first, I do config first. And you have an option, right? But either way, you've got to give it a URL. You can either do config first or discovery first, right? Let's put this over here. So if I do config first, I'll put config first up here. When I start up, get your configs. So it has to know the config server address. That's the thing that you have to tell your service. You tell it the config server address. It says, oh, hey, yeah, here's where your discovery service is. Here's your properties. Here's how you start up. If you did discovery first, then the first thing you've got to do is register, right? Needs the discovery server address. It gets the discovery server address, then asks for config server. So hopefully that makes sense. Look at the images in the README. Yeah, potential deadlock. Frozen threads found. Oh, what is happening here? The scenes following threads have not changed their stack for more than 10 seconds. Right. Okay. All right. So this is helping. The thing is, I'm so convinced. It's going to be 70. Oh boy, that's quite a drastic change. The thing is, I've used this so long and without issue that I know that this is a config issue. Or I feel in my gut it's a config issue. So I'm focused on this. If I'm saying, hey, discovery enabled, I think what I'm saying is, hey, config server, I think I'm looking for discovery and it's not finding one. House contributor took 150 seconds to respond. Did it respond? Oh, it did. Okay, look at this. So status is up, components, config server status, client config server is unknown. No property sources located. Config server status is up, repositories, name, app, default label. Config server is up, client config server is unknown. Discovery composite, discovery client not initialized, status unknown, discovery client not initialized. All right, so it is not able to do its discovery, which I normally don't do that. Yeah, this is a good problem for the, it's, here's the other thing. The cloud team, they're super busy. So I need to do everything I can to keep them working on what they're working on. Is there an echo? Let's see. I hope there's not an echo. Why would there be an echo? Is anybody else hearing an echo? Do I have, because audio is a big deal. If there's an echo, please let me know. But there shouldn't be. Hello, check. But I appreciate you. Okay, no echo for Dan. Okay, all right, cool. But thanks. I want to have the good stuff. So back to this, Dan. I want to protect the amazing people as much as possible. The Spring Engineering team. I want to answer. You know, that's part of what I need to do. Is I need to be out here and asking questions. So yeah, I'm going to protect as much as possible. So I want to get through here. You said commented out and same result. Thank you everybody for all of the feedback that we're not having an echo. I have a ghost version of your LinkedIn hiding on my mobile. Not you. Haha. All right. So yes, this may be a problem, but I'm thinking it's not. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through here. So I'm going to go and look. Right now it's saying, hey, I have a client config here that's status unknown, no property sources. So it's trying to ask a config server, right? Client config server. It's trying to ask a config server. It's trying to get resources or get configs. So I'm going to go over here. I have starter. I have tracing. I have config server, dev tools, as you should. Starter test. There's nothing over here. Cloud dependencies. So there's nothing over here that's extra. Okay, we're using milestones. That's cool. Right? Why not? Now, the question I have is really about this. If I'm over here, config discovery enabled true. Config discovery. Let's go take a look. Let's go, instead of me trying to like figure out what versions of these properties. So every once in a while, excuse my sniffles. Every once in a while, the properties change. And if you've been doing this for a while, you've noticed sometimes the properties change. So let's go take a look. Spring Cloud config. Let's go into our reference doc. Okay, it should be that easy. Hey, Spring Cloud config server.get.uri. We have Spring Cloud config server get default label main colon start true URI. This should be fine. But here could not locate property source. Let's do this. Let's just do, I'm gonna open up another window. 8088. Yeah, it's in a weird no resource found exception. I swear. So let's just keep on going. Let's keep on going. So I think I found the issue, or at least something that makes it go faster. Well, let's hear it. Also, the sanitizing mechanism for actuator changed a lot. You have to implement it yourself now. Fantastic. Jonas thinks he found the issue. Like all, it runs on port 8080 by default. You can switch more conventional. Yes, we're here. Let's keep on going. Spring application profile using the Git backend. That works. That works. Pattern matching. I want to get to the URL. We're good. Actuator, encryption, and key management, creating a key store. All right, I talked about discovery first. Config client, fail fast. Where's the, I want the simple. Actuator, encryption, decryption, key management, creating a key store using multiple keys, serving encrypted properties, serving alternative formats. No, let's just keep on going. Where's the simple? I'm looking, Jonas. I think the issue is this property inside the Git repo containing the properties. I made a copy of the repo myself and commented out that line. Then it manages to fetch the properties within seconds. All right. Try to comment that out. Which line? So let's go here. Let's take a look. So it's in the properties, in here. This one? Line 4, yeah. Can I Hey, Dan, can we edit this? Can we take out, I'm gonna have you do it. Take out this property. So here's what's happening. This property should be in your application if we're doing config first. All right, let's try that out. Hello, Robotech. So Dan, let's see if we can remove that line, because that might be our loop. If we're doing config first, this needs to be in our file right here. Needs the config server address so that we can go say, hey, where do I get my properties? But what we're doing effectively, we're saying, hey, I need this config server address. You go and ask for configs, and then in there, you're saying, hey, update that config import property and use this localhost 88. But it's going to do that continuously in a loop. So let's try that. I'm going to hit refresh and it's commented out. I'm going to restart this guy. Hit Control C. Oh, it's stuck in one of those loops. Unexpected end of file. Fantastic. That's all right. Here, I don't have to do that. I can just do this. Here we go. Let's try it again. MVNW spring boot run. Now it's going to go grab that new property. Oh, I didn't change. SDK use Java 21.0.1. SDK env. And now MVNW spring boot run. We're up. Let's go do this first. Let's look at our health. Okay, still health looks the same. It says we're up. It came back a whole lot faster. And now let's look at localhost. Dan is excited. Localhost 8888/Eureka server default. And there it is. Jonas, high five. Jonas with the alley-oop. That's what that was. That was an alley-oop. You lobbed it up there, and then we came in and we grabbed you put it there. You put it right by the net. We grabbed the ball and we said, kadunk. Look at this. So, fantastic. Teamwork makes the dream work. This is just a great way to start the day. Look at that, Michael. I'm glad you got to witness that fantastic dunk. Jonas, again, high five, man. Teamwork makes the dream work. So we're here. We did it. Taking a look at the properties. But yeah, just to clarify, there are two approaches here, that config first, discovery first. The things that we put inside of our config server. Yeah, we want to make sure we're not creating a loop here. So fantastic. We did it. Hello. Where are you from? Let me know what country, state, whatever you're comfortable sharing, because I've got kids and my kids like to see where everybody's from. So the Eureka can't get that use config. Eureka can use the config server. What you'll have to do in Eureka is in your image, you'll just have to tell Eureka the location. Right? So in that case, where Eureka is a service, Eureka just has to do config first. So Eureka just needs to know the address of the config server, put it in a known location to do config first, and then it can set up its discovery. And you can, in your config server, you can say, hey, Eureka service, here's your URL. I love this. So fun note, like, hey, we're doing this, we're community stuff, but just yesterday, I was working with another group on Eureka server. So these are common things. I'm from Portugal, but live in the Netherlands. Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. And welcome in. Let's grow. I'm Deshaun with Spring Developer Advocate. I'm here to be interrupted. Right? I don't have a schedule, so like there's nothing blocking me from meeting a deadline or anything like that. I'm here at your service to help you move forward. I talk about Spring Boot, Raspberry Pi, other single board computers like the Lake Potatoes we were messing with last night. But Kubernetes build packs, getting to production, Spring Boot things. So what we did just now, we helped out Dan with his config server. Like, heck yeah. And now we're going to talk to Rick Sama, if Rick Sama is still around. Rick Sama wants to do some audio video recording. With Spring. Like, hey, let me capture some AV, upload it in high quality so that we can have a high quality conversation using Spring. So let's see. But we have some questions that we're going to talk about, and that's it. So I'm glad you're here. Thanks for hanging out. I don't have all the answers. I have amazing friends. I'll reach out, and if we need help, but I'm going to make mistakes. But this is what we're doing. Oh, so all right, Rick Sama. So give us some details about what you're thinking, what you're wanting to do, and let's see what we can do. Oh, look at that, Orange Pi. I think I have a couple of those sitting around. So yes, fantastic, love it. I forgot to give a shout out. I gave one out to Annie Tux, but let me do this, shout out Icon. Because Icon's here. And we're doing stuff. We are doing stuff. Hello, welcome in. Glad that you're here. Let us know where you're from. Rick Sama is about to tell us about recording audio video. So let's see what we can do. Oh, got a rack. Let me show you what we've been doing. So instead of doing the rack, my son, who you know, my son has been building cases with Legos. So we bought a bunch of transparent Legos so that when we're doing stuff, all the lights will be shiny and they'll be able to see through. So that's what he's been doing. So this is 3 Raspberry Pi 5s, and then on the same place we'll have a little switch and a little power adapter, because we are doing, right, this is something that you've probably seen me do already. We do the programmable switches. Hold on one sec. Power. We've got some of these Sonoff power switches, or power adapters, smart switch, and what we do is we reflashed the software so that we can get the actual power running, so that for each one of these plates, for each one of these, it'll have one power, plug into it, so I can measure on a cluster by cluster basis on the Raspberry Pis. So it's just a fun thing, but that's what we're doing. So each one of those plates will have ideally 4 Raspberry Pi devices, a switch, and then just a USB power plug. But it'll all be going from the same power, and we can do some interesting things with that. So that's what we're doing. And so, question here, when do you do a live interview? Usually there is a poor connection in one side. Okay. I do love that kid. They're all great kids. Full screen. So the idea is that we can have the interview with the poor connection, but after we finish, we can have a full HD video on both sides. Oh. So I just want to know if there is a known way to do it. Annie Tux, I don't know. Maybe you do. I don't know what the commenting out things are set. I need to get that figured out. But let's think about this. we're asking for a common way, right? So, right. One of the things that you'll notice is like for a live stream, I think one of the standards, right, is like RTMP. There's a handful of protocols out there that are saying like, hey, like it's more important for low latency than it is for like every bit. Low latency is greater than. So this is the state that we're at, and this is kind of what happened. So the idea that I think you're going for is like, hey, let's do this, but then also record. Maybe on one or both sides. And you've seen this. You've seen this in like Zoom or something, or in StreamYard, where, hey, we're gonna record something, we're gonna do something together, but you want each person to record a local version, the high quality version, whether it's audio, high quality audio or high quality video, so that, hey, we can still have our conversation, but then after the live stream or the interview, after that, we want to take and we want to give a high quality podcast. We want to record those bits and we want to do our editing. So we take out all the pops and fizzles and all that kind of stuff, right? So this, I think, is a common practice. Now, is there a pattern for that in Spring? I don't think so. I'm just trying to like I'm gonna pivot just a sec, and I'm gonna just think out loud. All right, thank you, this. Some people. Oh, there you go. Let me do this. How do I do that? Wait, what did I do? I don't think it's what I wanted to do. Oh no, I did. Haha. Now you're a moderator. Oven Media Engine is a solution that I've looked at from Duct Tape DevOps. All right, that's good. So one of the things, again, I focus on this like edge and yeah, Spring Boot on little Raspberry Pi devices. So I'm gonna leave this here and I'm just gonna think out loud for a sec. One other thing I've done, or I've been looking at, is like this Spring. Actually, I might even have that sitting here. Here, this one. It's in io.deshawn. Deshawn-io. Here. I think this is it. So Deshawn-io is what I usually have running on my laptop. Like when I'm going to be doing traveling or conferences, I'll have that tenant running on my laptop. Oh, this is an old version. So let me explain this one. All I did was set up a Redis instance, and while I was on a plane, I was flying and I wanted to be able to, I thought this was cool. That I was flying from San Francisco to Kansas City. I ran this application and I connected to Cloudflare, which I do a lot. Or actually, I also used ngrok. I don't know which one I used here, or which one I was using last. Okay, so I was using, I deployed this to Kubernetes, and I was running with Cloudflare D. So that as I was flying, I was using the airline's Wi-Fi, and I was connecting. And again, this low latency, low quality stuff. Again, airline, I expect there to be bad internet. So the next step of this service was I wanted you, user, to be able to ask for current image from the camera, so that this was going to have a camera on it. And what my service was going to do is just take a snapshot to deliver that to user that requested it. So still, we're not into video, not in high quality, but this idea that I can record and I can get access to the camera, to the devices on a Raspberry Pi or and whatever. I can get access to those devices. That's definitely a thing. And then really it's about the file IO, right? That's going to be where you're going to run into the most problems, is capturing it at the right rate that you can write down to your disk if you want to record that locally. So let's think about that some more. Oh, look at this. Thanks. I appreciate that a bunch. So now share that link. Post the link that you're putting, and we'll make sure that we're good. I try to keep this family friendly and safe. Like I said, my mom and dad are watching. My kids like to watch this. So please, if you wouldn't mind. Video.ninja. Yes, I'm a big fan. I've used that as well. Oh, and that allows you to record locally, right? So this service, video.ninja, I've used for a long time because it allows me to pull things into OBS. But I think this also does allow you to record locally. Remote screen share. I want to get to the screen. I hope I don't mess up my my stream. We'll see. But the guests can see the director, but not the other guests. The director will be forming as well. Yep. Preferred video codec. All right. That's the most common one, right? Enter the room's control center. All right. Join the room as a participant. Here we go. We'll see. Hopefully this doesn't mess up. But I can do this. Here, let's see if we can get some folks in. H.265 because it's easier on bandwidth. remote co-directors. So here we go. We have in here, I can see you. Thank you for joining. Now, I don't know if I can get you in here, but we should be able to. Hey, welcome, welcome. We should be able to record locally. Let's see if we can figure this out. Record local, there it is. So this isn't a Spring solution here. This is a tool that we've used, I've used, AnyTux has used, and this is one way of doing it. It's free, it's open source, and what it's doing is it creates a peer-to-peer connection. So there's no like SaaS hosted solution that's doing this. It creates a peer-to-peer connection. So we're connected directly to each other, and it's using freely available protocols to do that, but it gives us the option so we can record locally. Wait, now it's commented out. Start recording this remote stream to this local drive. Oh, I think, but you should have a button similar to that. Is that real? You guys both see a button where you can record locally? Solo talk video off. Because this is saying I can record each of you separately to different things, but you should be able to record a local. So based on our picture, this is the type of solution that we are looking for. And not seeing an option to record from my side. Oh, record remote. The remote guest will record their local stream to their drive. Oh, so I can hit the button. So Rick Sama, I can hit this button and I can say record remote. So I'm gonna hit it. It says, what bit rate would you like to record at? This remote guest will save the recording directly to their local disk. Okay, the recording can fail, so we have backup recordings going, cool. This record option does not use internet bandwidth. So recording on their end, this is exactly, I think, what we were trying to get to. So I'm gonna hit that. So now that I see that, hey, it'll record, I'm gonna do the same thing over here. So I guess once we went live, you guys would both get a recording. Oh, and it started already. So this is pretty cool. So now you both have somewhere a file. Wait, this one stopped. This one's still going. But yeah, this is the idea. Here's a solution. So you don't see as many options. So if I changed the invite, I could have set you guys up as directors and maybe you would see those options. Sorry about that. So let's do this. I'm putting in test. So remote co-directors. Oh, here. So let's do this. Let's throw that out there. We're playing, right? But I can say that this is a tool that I've used in the past when I was using OBS to be able to bring in a guest. This is a great tool. I never did the recording locally, but I do like this project. Have you heard of Tailscale? Yes, see this button up here? There's my Tailscale. These are my devices. So yes, I use Tailscale. I love Tailscale. I will talk about having all of these different networks on the edge, different physical networks. Tailscale allows me to have control in a little VPN of all of my networks, all of my devices, no matter which network or cloud they're in. So Rick Sama, I hope this is like a good, it downloaded a WebM. All right, which we know how to convert those. That's fantastic. So now you have some of these buttons. You can do the record remote here. So everybody's coming in and gets their own ID. So yeah, this is, hopefully this gets you a step further. Even though we didn't jump into how to do it with Spring, I think this format and this pattern will get you forward. What do you think? Ah, wonderful. Yay. Right. It doesn't have to be just on spring. Teamwork makes the dream work. So I got the assist dunk from Jonas earlier, and then Andy Tux comes in with another alley-oop. I appreciate you. Alley-oop, Video Ninja, boom. Rock and roll. Well, this is amazing. We're doing stuff. So we have Roxama. We actually pointed to Video Ninja. And now we're moving right along. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. I'm going to close up this room. This is awesome. You know what, though? You should have been on my stream a couple weeks ago when I was setting up my KVM to control an actual HDMI KVM. Yeah. I'm going to close this control room. That's the hotness. I'm doing Pies. And the Pi KVM thing, I'm not sure that I need it, but I've explored it many times. So I'm anxious. And did you record that to YouTube? Because I kind of do want to go see that VOD if it's still available. Let's keep on going. We're making some progress here. Dan's taken care of. Roxama, thanks for joining us, and hopefully that's a good little solution. I know it's not Spring Boot, but hopefully it'll work. I record everything. I upload that one. Awesome. Yeah. So I stream to all the places. I'm streaming to Twitch and Twitter, or formerly known as Twitter, and YouTube and LinkedIn and Kick. Oh, I always forget to pull up the Kick comments because I've been having Kick's API isn't available yet. So I do stream over there. I haven't had a lot of engagement over there yet, but I don't want to miss it. If it does happen, I want to be there and I want to be able to respond. So I got to make sure I keep that one top. So yeah, I'm streaming to all 5 places. I was streaming to Instagram, but Instagram only allows you to stream for 1 hour. And I like to talk sometimes. Sometimes they go a little bit longer than an hour. So here we are. One of the things next on the list, Jonas is stuck with Kubernetes and Raspberry Pi. Jonas, if you're still around, let's see if we can figure it out. What we did yesterday or last night, you weren't here. Let's open up a new tab. Let's look at where we're at. kubectx. We are looking at our production. Production here is ARM64. So that's my newest, most advanced cluster. Let's pull up our configs. Let's look here, kubectl get nodes -o wide. We see that the lay potatoes that we just put into a new box, those haven't been redeployed because all we did was shut them down. Excuse me. We didn't change anything. Disks are still in it. I should be able to plug these guys in, and when they come up, they should rejoin the cluster. So let's do that step. Jonas, why don't you let us know where you're stuck while I go plug this in? Please hold. So these are the laid potatoes. This is what we've got. We got nice little Legos here. Let's do this. The laid potatoes. So we'll have all the nice lights through the transparency. All we've got is power across the top, going to USB power. This gives us nice clean power for our single board computers. And then on the back side, I've got a little Ubiquiti Mini Flex switch, and that's connected to them. So they are all, you can see here, they are all using a USB drive. That's a little USB drive. The laid potatoes need the SD card in order to boot off the USB. The bootloader says, hey, boot off of this drive. So this is the setup. It looked a lot uglier before, but yeah, we're baby steps, we're moving forward. So I'm gonna go plug this in, and we should rejoin the cluster. All right, so I plugged those back in. Let's see if we can. Hold on. I'm checking to see if I can get the camera showing the newly deployed, but they're plugged in. Let's look, and look at that, they're plugged in and they're right back in the cluster. High five to Logan. We're in good shape. So there, we've got more stuff. Let's keep going. Jonah says, I have set up Kubernetes cluster using a Raspberry Pi 4 and 4 02Ws. I followed your K3S on Raspberry Pi and Cluster Hat blog post. Thank you. Let's go over there. Let's see. Somewhere here. It's been a long time. I updated in December though. I can see my 02 nodes in the Kubernetes dashboard with the status ready. Whenever Kubernetes tries to spin up a pod, I can't seem to access it. Okay. So are you using the Cloudflare D as well? Almost like my Pis don't have an internet connection. That makes sense. So we got to deal with the ingress. Actually, now they say not ready. Been a while since okay. So let's just go through those steps. So I happen to have this exact one. I happen to have this guy deployed. So let's take a look. ARM64, here's cluster hat 00. Okay, they are all up and ready. I'm going to be a little embarrassed because I don't have stuff. Oh, I will share the link here. Thank you for reminding me, Dan. All right, there's the link. That's what we're looking at. And we're going to jump to that. And says warning memory level. Let's do pods. It's showing nothing. I want 0. There we go. So there's nothing running here. I hit 0. There is nothing running on this machine. Metric server, local path provisioner, and core DNS. So this might be where you're at. We have nothing deployed. So let's deploy something. Do you have an application that you want to deploy? Because the thing that's missing here for me is, right, let's just jump into it. Let's do something here. We have a nice little Edge application here. But let's do this. I'm gonna open up another terminal. Warning memory level. This machine, right, total memory is, you know what, I think actually I think this node is only a 4 gig. Or maybe only a 2 gig. Cluster hat 00. Let's take a look and see what it's got. You can see here it's on a different physical network. Why is this not going? I should see it over here. This will tell me. Yeah, it should be there. There we go. What do I want to do? Free. Yeah, it's only a 2 gig device. So I've got a total of 6 gigs in that cluster. So even though I did this initially with an 8 gig, right now I've got 2 gigs on the bottom and then a half gig with each one. So it's only got a total of 6 gigs. Right? No, these are half gigs. So that's 1, 2. So this has got 4 gigs total. Whew. So not a lot going on there. But here we are. And because I'm here, I gotta do this. It's just me. I just want things to be updated. You should want things to be updated. So, Jonas, are you using the cluster hat as well? So they say not ready. Did you restart it? When you start up the cluster hat, you have to power on. Yeah, it was turned off. When you power on, you got to turn on the P1, P2, or C1, whatever they are. All right, so let's get them up and running. Let's get to status ready, and then let's push some code. My glasses are dirty. So you let me know once you get to status ready. I just did some updates. Easy data. All right, so now you're ready. And do you have an application that you've been deploying? Yes. Installing NSX on my vSphere cluster so I can get the TKG installed. Absolutely. So I don't know, is there an easier way to get help other than text? Maybe we could take a look at my screen. Yeah, you want to jump in? Hold on one sec. I will do this. This is one of the nice things. I'm going to bring Jonas in, or I'm going to send Jonas an invite if he's available. Please hold. Let me find. Here we go. I'm sending it over Discord. And you should be able to jump in. And that's the other cool thing. Like this, I don't have a. I like doing this. I like working side by side, working through stuff. So Jonas, I sent you a link. If you're available, if you can jump in, we'll get your screen up. You don't have to be on camera, but we can bring your screen up. While you're doing that, I'm going to do this. And there's Jonas. All right. Welcome. Whoops. I know now I definitely have to hit this button. Hopefully my audio changed. Welcome. Let me make sure that I've got my audio set so that there's not a bad echo. And we should be good. So I had to turn off the music so we don't have the music going through your channel and coming back out again. So welcome. We're here.
Thank you.
At the bottom, you can present. I can remove this and you can present your screen.
Yes.
So Dan says K3S uses Traefik as an edge proxy. I actually, when I deploy, I don't use Traefik. I have it installed without Traefik because I do things a little bit different. So can you see at the bottom the present button?
Yes, I'm just trying to get the correct screen.
Awesome. I'm happy that you're here. It's nice to finally hang out. It's been wonderful. Oh wait, we're getting an echo. All right, let me see if I can fix this echo. Try that. Thank you for that heads up. And hopefully that fixes the echo. All right, here we go. We got Jonas' screen.
Testing.
And
I can't hear myself.
Loud and clear.
Nice.
I'm going to move the screen so I can see it better. So please hold. I want to be able to see your screen.
Yes. So this is my setup. I have. Now it's back to not ready actually. But yeah, I have the 4B001, that is the control node. And then I have the 40 nodes there. I don't know why that says not ready now. I just checked.
Yeah.
It should be on.
So it looks like only P1 is on.
Yeah, I was trying to just enable that one to force traffic to, or force Kubernetes to make pods there instead.
Yep. So that works.
Yeah, you can see he's trying here. It says it's running on my website.
Okay.
But I can only see one of 2 nodes, so I suspect it's the not my image, but the other. I don't know. I remember the name of the pod.
Oh, I already know what the problem is.
Oh.
I already know what the problem is. Knative serving. So you notice on my cluster hat, I didn't deploy Knative serving.
Right.
There is a kernel setting. There's a kernel setting that isn't default. If we want to do Knative serving on the Raspberry Pi, we have to modify the kernel. And because we're using the cluster hat and the cluster hat software, we already have a modified kernel. So I was like, I didn't go down that path.
All right.
So let's take a look here. So that's what I think is the problem. Is that Knative serving on the kernel that we needed for our cluster hat is running into a wall. Now, the cool thing is I want to be where you're at, right? I would love to have Knative serving on that tiny little cluster as well. So let's do this. Let's dig into this together. So that's what I think is a problem. That's the problem that I've ran into. So update the OS image. We did that. So I know that I'm pretty sure I documented this. All right. I ran into a couple problems. Envoy on Raspberry Pi OS. After investigating, it's a known issue with the Raspberry Pi OS kernel. In order to keep going forward with my project, I had to choose between fixing the kernel or trying Ubuntu. So
I think I've done that. I think I've overridden the Envoy, actually.
All right, so you're not using Envoy.
I'm using Envoy, but a patched version. Let me see. I can pull up the repo.
All right. Let me take a peek here. So I'm going to try to look at your screen.
I have the same Flux control setup that you have.
Yes.
Excuse
me. I'm happy to see that.
Yeah, I'm using a custom image of Envoy that someone patched to work with Raspberry Pi and Knative. But I don't see it working. But I can see it use that image.
Okay, so we're using that image. So let's go take a look. And let me, I'm on just another screen. I'm just going to go and take a look at one of the clusters. Let's look at the ARM64 cluster that has Knative running. And I don't see an Envoy anything. I have my service LB. But I don't see an Envoy.
I think it's the secondary image.
So
the Q proxy. No, maybe not.
Well, let's keep going then. Let's keep going. So if you go into one of those guys, one of the website deployments.
Logs are the description. Describe.
Yep. And let's see what's happening down at the bottom. Do we see any evidence? Scheduling, pulling your image successfully assigned, pulled, created. Readiness probe failed. So the containers started, but it's not reporting healthy.
I guess not.
So let's take a look What's on port 8012?
I'm not sure actually. I think my application is running on 8080, so nothing I have set up.
Okay, so maybe that's the first thing. Here, let's take a look here. I'm going to try to find something similar. So, your application, describe it for us.
It's basically just the basic Hello Worlds page. It's a coming soon website. Simple Spring Boot application with just a static
Excellent.
website.
Excellent. And right now, it's saying readiness probe is failing. Why would that be? Why would that be? Will you give me the image URL
The
for that
Docker image?
container? Right. There's no backing services needed, right?
No. It's should be good. I have it going through Cloudflare and then through my gateway to access the website, but the website should be standalone.
Excellent.
Just gonna log in on Docker Hub.
So this is what we do. We're gonna figure it out together. I love that you're already doing the Envoy workaround. So I need to take a look at your repository. So I'm gonna go here.
I can also send the GitHub
Yep.
repository.
Yep, that would be wonderful. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna pull it. It's ARM64, right?
Yeah, using Circle CI.
Awesome. And then I just want to do the Docker run, right? Which I don't remember off the top of my head. Docker run. -p. It should be right around 8080, right?
Yep.
So I should have. Yeah. So when you deployed it, how did you deploy that to Knative?
Like the Flux control config? Or
Yep. So let's take a look at the Flux control.
yeah, you could check. Maybe you should soft your screen on the stream
Okay.
for now.
All right. Here we go. So I'm here. I'm looking at Flux control. Your tenant was this one,
Yes.
right? So in that tenant,
It should be the service YAML, I think.
Yeah. It says, hey, here it is.
Yes.
And yeah, that's it.
And it's working fine if the pod is created on the controller node. It's only when it's created on the agents it's failing. Because if you hit jonasanderson.no now, it should work. Yeah, it's working. Because now it just created nodes on jonasanderson.no.
Fantastic.
Should spin up.
So,
yeah,
so now it's on the control node.
Yes. It's still struggling to terminate the other pods on the agent.
So why is that? Well, I just want to replicate it. So here's what I should be able to do. This might take a little while, but I want to go down this path just because. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to, on my side, I want to replicate this issue. So I'm going to open up Flux Control. And here's what we're going to do. I don't have cluster hat set up here. So let's set up cluster hat. New directory. Actually, I don't even have to do it that way. I think I can do it this way. We're gonna try to replicate it. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
And we're gonna see if we can work through this issue. So I'm gonna do this. Okay, we're gonna go to kubectx cluster hat 00. And we're gonna bootstrap it. All right. So, this should be fine, right? It should be fine. So what that's going to do is going to go bootstrap that cluster hat 00 cluster. Make sure we're on there. It's going to go install Flux. There we go. We can see that Flux is standing up. And that if I do when that's done, I'll do a git pull. And now we'll have a Flux controlled Kubernetes cluster. The next thing that we'd want to do is we want to get Knative serving running on it. Now, do I have enough resources to run Knative serving? That is a good question. We're going to find out. We'll find out together. It would be awesome if I could run Knative serving on 4 gigs. Like I can do it separately. I can do it on a single node, 4 gig. So I should be fine. What could possibly go wrong? We're going to try to replicate this. We're going to try to get something out, and we'll figure it out together. So we're waiting for this to be reconciled. Looks like things are running. Should be wrapping up here any second. Reconciled successfully. Good. Git pull. Get those changes, and now I've got a cluster hat 00, and it's got its Flux set up. So now we can do things like add infrastructure. So the way I deploy Knative is by doing this. So you let me know. I'm going to add a directory called infrastructure. And I've got a special YAML here that's the ARM64 version of it. And that ARM64 version, right, there's 2 different ones here. That ARM64, just like what you've done, it uses a different version of Nginx in order to get the logging working. So let's do this. I should be able to just copy and paste. Excuse me. So we're going to add that file to Git, and let's take a look at it. Knative serving, put it into the Flux namespace, grab this setup here, and we're all set. That's it. So if I commit this, it's going to try to install Knative serving. But you already pointed out that you've got a custom Envoy. Whoops, I went to the wrong screen.
Yes.
You've got a custom Envoy set up here. So in your tenants, here, service.
I think it's in infrastructure.
Oh,
The custom Envoy. Under the Knative serving YAML.
override. Let's do the same thing. So on your Knative serving, I'm going to do the same thing. Here, this is slightly different. Right, you got this.
Maybe I'm missing something there.
So what I've got is my customization here that points to this path. Your customization, it points to the operator and Knative serving YAML.
I think you're comparing the wrong files now. Because this is the base infrastructure.
Right.
You have also.
I should have been looking here, right?
Yes. Cluster 00 is the Pi one.
Okay. All right, so that's good. Knative serving. All right, so then in Knative serving, I've got customization. I grab the operator, Knative serving. Good, and I would put the override here.
Yes, I think it's in the
So let's do this. So let me explain what I did here on my setup. I set up the Fluent bit collector and I overrode. So you can see compared to this one, all I did was grab the operator, grab that Knative serving. Oh, I also did the Fluent bit collector, but I didn't have to override anything. And on ARM64, I had to override some stuff.
Right.
Okay. But what we're going to do is we're going to go into our Knative serving. And we're going to grab this registry override. That should work. Does that look like it should work?
Yes.
Registry is the same as ingress and config. We override it, Courier Gateway, with this version of Envoy. Does that look like it should work?
Yes.
All right. So let's do this. Git status. I don't want to deploy that yet. Let's change our Knative serving here to cluster hat. Did I say 00? Okay. So now we're using this set of configs for our infrastructure. So I think I can do this. The only thing I'm not, I don't really want to deploy that Loki just yet, right? I think that's okay. What could possibly go wrong? Let's go ahead and add it. What could possibly go wrong?
Nothing, right?
So, so let's see. I didn't deploy a tenant to Cluster Hat. Let's just see if we can get this infrastructure deployed. So what we expect is Knative serving to show up here. It's baby steps. But man, that would be nice if we could get Knative serving running on this tiny little Cluster Hat. Thank you for finding the new Envoy. image. Let's see what we got. All right, Knative Operator is coming in hot. Logging collector should work. It's putting it on the control node, which is okay. That's promising. Very promising. Oh, there we go. Fluent bit container creating. All right, we'll give it some time. This is looking good. Man, I believe this is further along than I got before. So I think your Envoy image is helping us out here.
Yeah, it's working fine at one node. So I've just been disabling the extra agents while I'm testing. And I basically don't need the extra nodes based on my workload, but it would be nice.
Yeah. That's part of the fun. So let's keep our fingers crossed. While that's going, let's go and what do we want to do? We want to deploy a workload. So I'm going to make you a tenant. I'm going to do it just like this. All right, this is the tenant. I don't want to use.
I don't think you can. Yeah, I don't think you can use the rest of my services either because it requires a few secrets.
But what I can do is this. I can grab this. Let me think of how I would want to do that. I'm trying to think of which tenant I can put over there. I don't think I have one that's like ready to rock because I'd have to go and do the Cloudflare D stuff.
Mm-hmm. We could continue this the next day.
We can. Let's take a look and see if things are up and running. CPU's hot on this one, but warning memory level. This is still pretty cool. Here's what we can do. I should be able to do Deshawn IO. Let's just see if it works. Copy to, not that one, to cluster hat. So we're going to add Deshawn IO to cluster hat 00. This is on another network in another part of the house. This just says, hey, go use this tenant, Deshawn IO. We can go down here and see that it says, hey, here's Deshawn IO. You're going to use Cloudflare D, so I got to give it secrets. So let's do that. have to do customize build /env Deshaun IO tunnel pipe env substitute pipe cube cuddle apply. So I'm putting those secrets. Oh, it didn't have the namespace yet. Okay, I think we're okay. So let's deploy this. What else do we need? Open Zipkin. I think we're good. Git status. Git nope. Git commit. Add Deshaun IO to cluster hat. So that should, all it should do is we should see a namespace for Deshaun IO. And if we go and look at Deshaun IO in Flux, we should see it's going to deploy this web intro and a service gateway, and that's it. So we'll have our fingers crossed. It shouldn't take too long. Those are native images, so we should be able to fit somewhere, hopefully. Ooh, it's trying. I just might not have enough resources. We want to see Deshaun-IO come up. For some reason on my network, there's another juice box, and I think it's because I have one machine, or I have the same machine connected on Wi-Fi and hardwired. I think that's why. So it renamed my box Juice. Dan Idu says, how do you organize your YAML files in your repo cluster namespace? So I've been using this process that I learned from Lee on my team, where I've got everything set up just like Jonas does here. I have a centralized GitOps control center so that all the stuff that's going to happen on my infrastructure, so I turn my hat and I'm now the platform operator, I can control it here, just like Jonas. I've got my different clusters set up. Inside of my clusters, I've got Flux running, but I can choose which infrastructure I've got deployed on there, and also which tenants I've got deployed. So those in mine, they're just referencing each other. But this pattern is out there, so let's, you're using Argo CD, so it's going to be very similar, and you're going to be able to do very similar things. But I'll put my repository out there, github.com/Deshaun-cloud flux control. So there's the repository that I use, that Jonas is using. Hey, look at this. I see Deshaun-IO namespace. So we're cooking with gas. So now let's see what happens. Oh, I got an error on the image pool. Oh,
You need to apply the secrets.
Yep. I will need to do that. So now I should be able to do this. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and hit Control K on that node so it can stand back up. So yeah, this is a lot for my little 4 gig machine or cluster.
Yeah.
Let's see what this says. Image can't be pulled. intro web. Oh, is it not deployed? And that's very possible that I'm trying to pull an image that doesn't exist. Let's go here, intro web, V005. That should. Let's go look. Hub. Let's go inside in. Will this work? Fantastic. Let's look at the IO intro web here. Okay, I've got an ARM64 version of it. So this might be just a disk. Oh, here, it's running. This is awesome. That's running. So then again, we talked about having the gateway set up. I think that this gateway, I think I did this already. Let's take a look. 2 weeks ago. Yeah, this might be it. So let me do this. Let me go local. Oh, actually, now I've deployed it. And the Cloudflare ID is already, so I don't know if it's going to be local or not. Oh, okay, so this scale down, which is good.
Let's see if it's actually terminating, because mine are still stuck.
Oh, so yours are stuck doing this?
Yep. But only on the agents, not the controller node.
Interesting. So I'm replicating what you're seeing. So I've got this workload running on one of the agent nodes. It's in a terminating state. And that's the same thing that's happening for you?
Yes. After a while on creating, it's trying to terminate and then stuck on terminate.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. Oh, that's embarrassing.
Need to bump that person.
Yep, I'm embarrassed. All right, well, at least we're here. So let's do this. Why is this still struggling? Oh, it's trying to stand up 3 of them?
I mean, it should be able to stand up 3. It doesn't need to be on the same nodes, right?
Yeah. Here.
I set mine to only be one instance of the gateway because I saw some latency when going through the gateway and then to my application. The first load is taking much longer.
My Cloudflare D, my other service did terminate. I tried to kill my Cloudflare D. It didn't come up right. So that one's terminating. This one should be coming up.
Have you set up Wi-Fi on the agent nodes? Or do you just use the internal IP you get from cluster control?
I use the internal IP.
Okay. I think I connected them using the internal IP, but I think I still have Wi-Fi enabled on them.
Okay.
Maybe that's a problem.
That might be something to look at. Why is
Could
this
try
not
to
starting?
clean the agents and reinstall them without Wi-Fi.
So why is this not starting? Why is Cloudflare D not starting? So this failed. My gateway failed. But that's not crazy.
Oh, Cloudflare is up.
This
Is
is
the
a good
second one?
sign. So let's do this. Let's see if we can go to intro.deshawn.io. Okay, no healthy upstream. Okay, which did it hit? So it hit my other cluster.
Mm-hmm.
So Cloudflare D is running here. Let's do this. Let's go and remove Deshawn.io from K3D Juice. Let's go remove it from here. So it's only deployed to that cluster. So what we had just a second ago is we had that tenant, Deshawn.io, deployed to two different clusters. So we couldn't control, right? They're both using Cloudflare D. We couldn't control which cluster it went to. So what we're doing is we're removing the one from this machine, K3D Juice, and we're saying, hey, that's the only one. That cluster hat is the only one that's going to be accepting traffic. So we'll wait for that. We can do it this way. kubectx, K3D Juice, and we can do watch kubectl get ns, and it's gone. Deshawn.io is gone. All right, that's good. So Deshawn.io is gone, right? There's no Cloudflare D for Deshawn.io. That's good. That's where we want to be. So now let's go back to kubectx cluster hat. Oops. We see that Cloudflare D is up. This one's terminating. This one's having an issue. But now if I hit intro, it should go to this one. Upstream, disconnect, delayed connect. Okay, it might have been trying to connect to the old one. Let's just see if we can get some love. Seeing some other errors, not exciting. Let's just do this. I'm gonna bounce this again. Control K to terminate that one. See if I can get another instance up.
I think I only was able to use the Cloudflare if it was on the controller node. So it may seem like the same problem.
Okay.
You can't access the other agents.
That's another good clue. That's another good clue. But yeah, we're going to figure this out. I'm wondering about these others. Why are they having issues? So what I did on my setup, I'm using the every node got their own IP versus the shared IP when you set up your cluster hat.
Yeah, they should have their own IPs.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So now we have Cloudflare D running. Let's try this again. Okay, it still says tunnel error. Are you good? It might just be taking a little bit of time. These are slow. There we go.
Oh, stopped.
Uh-oh. Let's see what we can see here. Starting tunnel, protocol, good. We have a new version that we can upgrade to. Metric server, failed to sufficiently increase receipt. That's ignorable. Registered connection, that's fantastic. Wait, initiating graceful shutdown due to signal terminated.
Maybe you killed it.
Did I do that? Right here.
No, it's the running one.
All right, so now we're registered. This is what we expect to see. I've got a clue here to upgrade, but I'm registered. I should be running. No healthy upstream.
It should try to spin up either the gateway or the intro pod, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's trying to hit the gateway. That's what's happening. So here's what happened. It's going here to Deshaun IO, Cloudflare D, the config. No, I have it set up here for intro.
Yeah.
Should go to intro web, Deshaun IO. So it doesn't need the gateway. So why is it saying no healthy upstream? I gave it its credentials. It's registered.
Are you able to force it to be created on the controller node?
It's
when you have the same exact setup like
you know what I feel like? I feel like it's trying to hit the other cluster. Let's go take a look. So I'm gonna do this on the other screen. I'm gonna go look at that tunnel, and I'm gonna log in with my two-factor stuff. But let's work through this, because here's another 029331. We're looking at Deshaun IO. Let's go look at that tunnel. Websites. Where's the tunnels? Zero Trust. Tunnels. I'll show you what I'm looking at. So here, I have a route for intro.deshaun.io. This tunnel is locally managed. If you want to manage this tunnel through the dashboard, okay, like we're good. So it should be working. A new version of Cloudflare. I can do that. But this, it's up for 3 minutes. Here's our connector ID. It's giving me a complaint about the error. No, we don't want to do it there. No, I don't want to do that. But that is interesting. But I want everything GitOps, right? I want everything GitOps driven, so I don't want to do anything to the dashboard. So this looks like it's working. It's spinning. There it is. It's coming. It's just really slow on these machines.
Yeah.
So I had it scaling at 3. So I can fix that, because that's definitely going to be a problem on these nodes. So let's go do that real quick. Not here. Not here. Let's clean up a little bit here. Let's edit this one. And it's okay to edit right here. GitHub's a nice activation scale. Can I do one? It might.
I don't think you can do on an activation scale actually. I think I tried that before, and then it says
Yeah, it says it has to be
greater
greater than
than
1.
But I think you can set min scale to 1.
Let's do that.
I'm gonna try to scale it down as well. Maybe that's the problem.
All right. I'm going to make this 3. And let's do this. So those are still trying to create, and I think it's just that they're running into resources. You know what else I'm going to do? Just to save some headache, I'm going to delete this file. Maybe. Can I delete it from here? There you go. Okay, so we can always undo that later, right? So we just have, oops, I gotta do it here too. I could have just done it here. So this should just deploy that one intro service. This should go away. I'm a little concerned about these, but I think it's just a resource issue.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, oh, error image pull. We saw that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go ahead and, I'm not going to make changes. I'm going to kill this. Oh, it's terminating. So that customization is already working. So it's getting rid of those. Fantastic. Now it's terminating those. It's got an intro web running. Intro. Still says what happened. Why? Oh, they're down now. So they scale down. But this still looks, it is super slow. But I don't need blazing speeds on everything all the time. Waiting for logs. Waiting. Let's see what we got here. I like that Zipton's running. I would like for everything to just be green and good. Our service stood up properly, even when it was on a different node. Oh, look at my Cloudflare D failed.
Oh.
So I
Out
wonder
of
if
memory,
that's
perhaps.
like a timeout issue. So we had there's some stuff happening. I'm gonna let it calm down. But this is real. This is, even that I'm this far, is exciting because it stood up. So that's exciting. So this guy is running. Oh, remember, it takes a while for it to go. There you go. So he's running. He's going to join. He's like, yep, I'm cool. I'm connecting to all my different nodes. and this is where I'm at. I'm happy here. I'm in a happy place. I've got these guys shutting down. I'm gonna let them terminate. I'm gonna let them terminate, and then I'm gonna try it again. I feel like some of these other issues are just lack of resources. But this is still really, really cool. Yeah, I think you've helped me again with the Envoy image.
Yeah, I found some. I think it was a GitHub issue on either Envoy or Knative.
I want these. I just want these to terminate, and then I want to retry it. That's it. Oh, Dan's saying describe your pod. So I can just go here, and with K9s, if I hit D, I'm getting the describe output. So we think things are looking good. So here's that same error. Do I not have... Is that the exact same error that you had? 1042.4.7?
I don't think the same IP, but it's the same
port.
Yeah.
What is this?
I think it's the pod IP. If you go back to the pod, I think you see it on the IP. Yeah.
All right, please terminate. Please terminate.
Maybe I should buy more Raspberry Pi 4s instead and make a big cluster of them.
See, I like the Raspberry Pi Zeros. I like this cluster hat idea. I think I was just doing an experiment with that 2 gig device, but I can switch that out easily to give it more resources. But I almost don't want to, and I want to see this work. Right, that's the nice thing about Kubernetes. Maybe you've seen the Kelsey Hightower talk where he's just playing Tetris. Right, part of what Kubernetes is good at is like, hey, where do I fit these things? You know, if I need all of these things running, what's the best way for me to fit it? So some of these things that are happening, it's just like, yeah, you can't run on that machine, right? There's another thing that landed on that same machine, and you can't both fit. So it's going to try to figure out where it can put things. And I had that extra gateway, and I had a bunch of extra instances of this intro web.
Yeah.
So it just might not have enough resources. So we're here at 56%. So it's calming down.
Is that the total memory on all of the agents?
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, I just want.
And mine are also stuck terminating, I think.
Yeah.
I was trying to SSH into the agent, but it's so super slow. It's not
Hello,
working.
Luis. Thanks for joining. Where are you? Luis, where are you today? Let us know where you're joining us from. Let me just circle back while we're so this is creating. I've got a new deployment. So this is the one that has the changed min level, max level. So that's good. So it's just taking a while. Fluxer's taking a while. These are not fast machines, and our customizations reconciling is just taking a while, and that's okay. That's okay. It's stuff that I don't have to do. I'm letting Kubernetes take care of it. But for Luis, let's go back and see what we've been doing today. Luis, you've been here. Today we started off with Dan. He had some Spring Cloud config server issues. And we worked through those. And Jonas here found us the issue. He found where we were asking for configs, and then we were getting a new config server, and we were asking for configs and getting a new config server. It was stuck in a little loop. So it was timing out after 6 or 10 minutes. Then we talked to Rixama, and Rixama wanted to have a way of doing a live stream, but then also recording a local version. So at the end, you could have the high quality version of it. And Antitux helped us out over here by reminding us about VDO.ninja. And now we're working with Jonas. Jonas is talking about we're doing Knative on Cluster Hat, which is pretty cool. So I'm trying to replicate his issue. We're falling over. So things aren't ideal. But we have our second deployment. Our first deployment's almost done. This second deployment says it's running.
But only one of two.
Yep. But our Cloudflare D has fallen over, but it always comes back. So let's see what's happening. So
Can you run ARM64 on a Raspberry Pi 3B?
yes.
Or is that only 32?
Yep.
Okay.
So that next cluster, do I have this guy running? No, it's not. But that next cluster is Raspberry Pi 3Bs. And I have a stack of 8 of them.
I have one of the 3Bs as well, so
Yeah,
I
so now the
might
cool
try
thing
to
is
join the cluster in.
you can absolutely take that 3B and join to your cluster hat.
Mhm.
Yes, you can absolutely do that.
Give it some more juice.
Yeah. And now that you say that, I could easily add some other nodes to that cluster. I want to see this working. This would be really, really cool.
Yep.
So we're leveling out. Here we go. That was running. Now let's see if we can get our Cloudflare D up before this one tries to terminate. This is pretty slick. What's wrong here? Oh, so the other thing that's playing into my situation is that other network is not as high quality. All right, so this is running. I'm going to do this. I'm going to hit Control K on that Cloudflare D and see if I can get another one stood up.
Hopefully before the intro one is terminating.
We're playing. We're experimenting. We're learning. I'm learning. Interweb is running. This one's creating. We're starting to level out here a little bit. All right. It's running. Let's see. The moment of truth.
Struggling.
Yeah.
I think this is the issue I have.
Okay.
This.
Oh, this one's running. This one's terminating. Okay. So what we think here is that we're connected here. Somebody's request, whether it was this one or another one, caused a new one to run. A new one of this latest version. This one's terminating. This one's standing up. Still hasn't answered yet, though. Oh, it answered.
Great.
Let's do that again. It's taking a long time to answer.
Super long. What?
Yeah. which makes me wonder. But still, this is amazing. Because on like $70 worth of equipment, we're running Kubernetes, Knative serving, scaling to 0. Man, that is slick. That is slick. So I wasn't able to replicate your issue. So let's now talk about what are we doing different.
It might be the scaling thing because it tries to scale 3 on my cluster, and maybe
Okay.
not enough resources.
Okay. Well,
So
let's try that. Do you want to make that change? So what I'm going to do at the same time is I'm going to change my activation as well. I'm going to go here, not into yours. I'm going to go
Yeah,
and I'm just going to say, hey, instead of scaling down, let's just give me one instance. So I'm going to say here in this one, I don't know it off the top of my head, min scale, max scale. Let's go and look at Knative. Actually, I know where I have one example. GitHub Spring Office Hours. Flux. This guy doesn't stay. He doesn't go away. Initial scale. This is what I'm going to do. Min scale, max scale, initial scale. Boom. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to edit. And I'm going to put the exact same. Initial scale is 1, max. So just give me 1. I'm going to commit those changes. So now I should get a new deployment, deployment 3, and these guys should go away. But that deployment 3 should just stay up. That's the difference. So that hopefully I can reduce this latency, right, of intro. Right, I don't want that to take so long. I wanted to see. Ooh, that came back real fast. You see that? Look at this.
ooh.
But it's
And
still
it's-
on deployment 2.
Yeah, and it's running on agent. Yeah.
Yeah, but it came back real fast. Oh, now it says back gateway. Oh, did my... No, Cloud4j is still there. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. But this guy should have still responded.
Yeah, a crash on the source controller, but that's probably not affecting the networking.
Yeah, except I just did a customization, so I should get a new
right.
deployment. But that's still pretty doggone slick. And things are starting, like I got less red. Right, this comes and goes. But this is one of those things where, hey, you fixed me. I'm supposed to be here fixing you, and you've made my situation a whole lot better. We deployed Deshaun IO to this cluster hat that only has 4 gigs of memory.
I actually think it's working now. After I changed the scaling. Now I only have 1 pod running on that node.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So it's running on an agent?
Yeah, I think so.
Jonas Anderson. I'm hitting it.
Mm-hmm.
And you're running on an agent? Here, let's go
Yes.
pull your screen up. There it is.
Should be this one, right?
There it is.
Yep.
Uh,
That's awesome.
That is awesome. All right. So it was a resource issue, which, yeah, that's good to take into consideration. But that's why we did the cluster hat thing, is we wanted to have a nice tiny little cluster that we can do fun stuff with.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I wonder if you can force the key native stuff to be created on the cluster, the controller node. Can you do that with the YAML files?
Yes, with the affinity and taints, you can say, hey, I want all of my Knative stuff to only go to a controller node. You can absolutely do that.
Then I maybe actually can use this, because then the zeros will have some resources to run my images.
Yes, this is the bee's knees. This is the bee's knees. I would like to see that intro web 003 come up. And I've got time, but we don't have to sit here. So this has been fun, Jonas. This has been absolutely fun. And today was just a fun day all the way around. But thanks for finally getting to hang out. And we made over some hurdles. We got a couple of people fixed today. So that's always fun. We did a little Kubernetes. We did a little Spring Boot. What I'm going to be working on next is I want to get a bot that'll kind of capture questions and maybe answer questions or whatever. But get back to the AI stuff that's going to be super, super fun for us. So this is great. This was fun. But yeah, let's call it good. Let's call it a day. And hopefully we'll see everybody tomorrow. Jonas, thanks for jumping in. We figured some stuff out together. Sometimes, it's just seeing differences and looking at those. So well done.
Great being on there.
Now your cluster hat is running, and now I'm excited to see what you do next so that I can learn more from you.
Nice.
Keep up the great work.
Likewise.
This is fun. Thank you so much for joining. It's Wednesday, so I'm sure there's going to be some other amazing streams going on. And I'll see you around. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
All right, you take care. Everybody else, thanks for joining. We'll see you tomorrow.